Hey everyone, welcome back to my Dev Web App channel. Today I'll solve and explain 3 JavaScript palindrome related coding challenges. I faced these challenges during technical interviews. So the first challenge is word is a palindrome. And as you can see, a word is a palindrome if it reads the same forward and backward. And again, a word and return true if it's a palindrome or false otherwise. And as you can see, we have examples, and as you can see, empty string is a palindrome. And to solve this change, let's create function, and add name is palindrome. Okay, and I'm going to provide some word. It's a string, and as you know, JavaScript does not have some built-in string methods to reverse the string, but it has the methods to reverse the array. So we need to make array from this word and then reverse it and make the string again. And let's start with array, and I'm going to provide const array, and let's do this word and use split and empty string. And now I can make console log to see what we have inside array. And let me call this function and provide this word. Okay, and now I can call my function, and as you can see, we have our array. And now we can reverse our array, and let's check what we have now. And as you can see, we have the same array, and let's try this example and save, and let's try this way. And as you can see, we have reversed array. And now we can change our name to reversed word and join it back to string using join method of array. And let's check now. And as you can see, we have error. Let me check. Okay, and we don't have array, and I need to change also in console log. Okay, and let me clear it and run again. Okay, and now we have words, and now we can just return reversed word equals to word. Okay, and let's run our function, and I need to provide console log of the execution, and we'll do this the same here. Okay, and let me clear. And as you can see, we have true for the first case and false for the car. Okay, and let's try empty string and see what would we have. Okay, and as you can see, we have empty string, and it's also true. And sometimes they can ask you to make it with uppercase, and for that we probably need to convert word. Let's initially run our example, and as you can see, we have false. And I would like to convert our word to lower case, and let's check now. Okay, and probably I need to fix it. Okay, and now it's working, and as you can see, we have true, false, and true. Okay, let's move on to the next example. And it's similar to the previous challenge, but now we have some phrase, and if we have palindrome word in this phrase, we need to return true. Otherwise, we need to return false. Okay, and for that I'm going to just copy my function and let me do it. Okay, and now let's create function like let's make it is palindrome like text, and let's add text as variable, and here we can convert it to array. As you can see, it's separated by space, and let me make some array, and we can use split function and provide space to it. And now we can iterate through array using, let's use for each item of array. Let's check if it's palindrome, and we'll provide item. If palindrome, let's do this. If it's palindrome, we found other word, and we can return true and not check other words. And if we haven't found palindrome, we can return false. Okay, and let's call this function, and here, and I can remove this, and let's try these examples. And they provided these examples during real coding interview, and let's check. Okay, and actually let's remove this console log because we know what we have here. Okay, and we have, oh, I forgot to change the name. Okay, and let me provide my file to it and change to JavaScript. And as you can see, we have true for the first and false for the second example. Okay, and our solution is working. And let's move on to the next challenge. As you can see, now we have a phrase, and we need to check if it's palindrome or not. But this time, the phrase contains some also not only uppercase or lowercase letters, but also some non-alphanumeric characters like comma and also spaces. And we need to return true if it's palindrome after removing all non-alphanumeric characters. Okay, and this is more complicated, but here we can also use our function, and let me do it. I can reduce the size of this, and let me remove this console log, and let's create some text. It's palindrome text, and I'm going to use also this text. And this time we need to remove these non-alphanumeric characters. And, let's try this, and also this. Okay, and let's leave this empty string. And for that, I'm going to change text and make my text to lowercase. And here we can remove this conversion because we have a lower text. And now I would like to replace all these characters, non-alphanumeric characters, with empty string. And for that, we need to use regular expression. And let me create text, and I would replace. We have function replace in JavaScript, and here we can provide regular expression and provide some expression, and will remove all except range A, Z. Okay, and we need to provide except, and I'm going to remove all occurrences of this word, and let's add empty space. And let's see what we have. Let's provide console log text, and I'm going to call my function from my terminal, and let me paste it and provide. Okay, and I need to check palindrome text. Okay, and here. And we have a man, a plan, and as you can see, our non-alphanumeric characters were removed, and also here. And we don't have any output, and that's why we see undefined here. And now actually we can return this palindrome and provide our text. And let's try it. And as you can see, for the first case we have true, and for the second we have false, and for the empty string we have true. And this question is actually a LeetCode question, and let's copy this code, and I found it on LeetCode, and as you can see, it is palindrome, and let's modify this a bit and try it on LeetCode. I will leave this function. Okay, and we probably need to change the name, like is word palindrome, and let's just copy this code and try to run it on LeetCode. And we don't need, yeah, we'll return is word palindrome, and here we have string, and let's change our text to string. Okay, and here, and here, and here. Okay, and now I can try to run it on the LeetCode, and let's check what we have. And it's running, and as you can see, our test cases passed, and we can try to submit it. Okay, and now let's wait, and we have some wrong answer. And that's because we have 0 here, and we removed also numbers. Okay, and we can fix this by leaving numbers. Okay, and now let me add this example to test cases and try to run it locally. And let's wait. And as you can see, our case passed, and actually we can remove console log, and let's try again, and then we'll try to submit. Okay, and now we can submit and check our results. And as you can see, our solution was accepted, and as you can see, it has pretty good runtime and memory. And we used here JavaScript approach with conversion to array and using array methods. But you can use like algorithm. Probably let's try to do it and see our runtime. And we can just use our word and using for loop and for let I from 0, and we can divide our, let's add new const for length, like const length, and provide word length, And I'm going to go to this len divided by 2, and I would like to take on letter from the beginning and on a letter from the end, and go one by one. Okay, and let's do plus plus and convert and see if word with index I equals, let's not equals, and add if statement here, and check word with len minus I, and this would be the last word for the first time, and then it will be last after one. Okay, and if I don't have, we can return false, and otherwise we can return true. True, this means our word is palindrome, and let's check it again. Okay, and I have a wrong answer, and let's check. Let's see. And I forgot to add -1 because we are starting indexes from 0. And let me run this again and check. Okay, now we have passed test cases, and let's try to submit. And let's wait. And as you can see, now I have a much better runtime, and it beats 100%. And also our memory beats almost 100%. And this small improvement made our algorithm more efficient. But for the JavaScript, using this conversion to array and reversing would be enough. And that's all that I have for today. If you like my video, subscribe to my Dev Web App channel. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.